Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic: what is a psychological trick you know to really fuck with someone? Silence. It's a very effective interview technique, because as humans we are conditioned to break silences in conversations. I had a conversation with my former boss, who was kind of a psychopath. He started by saying he needed to ask me a question. Then he made a bunch of statements and then just stopped and was silent. I assumed his question was implied by the statements, so I started to respond to the statements. He cut me off and chastised me for interrupting when he hadn't asked the question yet. Then he did the same thing, several statements, then silence, then I start to talk and get yelled at. He did this 3 times before finally asking a question. I thought he was absolutely nuts. Later I learned this is a technique people use to establish dominance. When someone needs to establish dominance to work with me, I go find another job. Edit: wow, thanks for my first silver. Almost worth having to reboot my whole career. It's a good technique to establish you're a dumb cunt. When you are talking to someone, if you interrupt them and say walk with me in a busy tone and start walking away, they will walk with you and continue the conversation without hesitation. You can lead them wherever you want really. I'll never go to your secondary place. Street smarts. I worked with a friend who kept a 12-pack of Mountain Dew under his desk. For a while I'd sneak extra cans back into the box, not a lot and just enough that he was sure he drank more than the box would hold. He knows. Free drinks. He got meatballed. Like the very old joke. A young boy enters a barber shop and the barber whispers to his customer, "This is the dumbest kid in the world. Watch while I prove it to you." The barber puts a dollar bill in one hand and 2 quarters in the other, then calls the boy over and asks, "Which do you want, son?" The boy takes the quarters and leaves. "What did I tell you?" said the barber. That kid never learns. Later, when the customer leaves, he sees the same young boy coming out of the ice cream store. "Hey, son. May I ask you a question? Why did you take the quarters instead of the dollar bill?" The boy licked his cone and replied, "Because the day I take the dollar, the game's over." When you get into an elevator with other people, don't turn around to face the doors. It's a common practice in my country and people just stand there being uncomfortable. I hate it. Is your country hell? Stare at their forehead while they are talking. It really freaks people out. Jim was onto something. Generally anywhere that isn't their eyes but forehead works best. My friends always stare at my boobs when we're talking and it drives me insane. Edit: I would like to clarify, I meant more as in anywhere very far away from people's eyes that's still on their person. I think if you look at their nose or mouth it won't really freak them out, especially if they are used to you doing that. My eyes have always been fucked up, where one of them sits higher than the other. In order to make it as discreet as possible, it's best to look people in the eye with my higher up eye. The downside to this is that the lower eye is constantly on their chest. Not a big deal most of the time, I'm usually only paying attention to the upper eye and basically filtering out the lower one. But if it's a woman in a low-cut shirt that I have to interact with, I have to continue on like my brain isn't getting increasingly uncomfortable with one eye staring into their cleavage. Hand them trash in a conversation. Usually, if you reach out with something the other person will take it, and if they are busy talking to you they won't pay attention to what you're handing them. I do it sometimes for fun, and the expression I get when they finally look down and realize I just handed them my trash to take care of is great. Yes. I've had this done to me, it fully works effortless, but I think that's kinda the point. You just have to confidently pass them the trash like it's theirs. And then it is. Immediately after they look at the time, ask them if they know what time it is. Chances are, they will have to look at the time again. Hell, I do this to myself all the time. I forget the exact study, but basically in an office setting you can tell anyone anything, and as long as it's on an official memo, anywhere between 60 to 80% will comply. I think in the study they had it as take this memo to an isolated room, and most people just did it. Wild stuff. Take this memo to an isolated room. Maybe there is something there. If I want a little break, isolated room can't be far away. Where I work isn't a very big building. If it's somewhere outside of the building, I'll just pitch the memo and call out my desk neighbor for upping his prank game. It's as simple as this, and most people are happy to help with a small, direct request. There has been a rise in employees receiving emails from their boss telling them to go buy gift cards for Christmas presents or whatever. Then to email the codes to the boss so they can hand them out for Christmas. Nigerian princes must be reading the same studies as you. I got a few emails like this at my old job. Jokes on the scammers though. I knew it was a scammer immediately because I never received a single email from my boss the entire time I worked there. Tell your family you're going to get cigarettes, and then never come back. Psychologically fuck em good. Good one, Dad. If you want to really mess with someone, go up to them and ask them, hey, do you ever get that creepy deja vu feeling? Then like a week later wear the same thing and ask them the same question. I've done this to so many people and their reactions are hilarious. I think I might start pranking my students with this. Mwahahaha. It's not really psychological, but let's say someone is 25 or 30 feet behind me while we're both walking down a hallway. There's a 90 degrees corner coming up. I round the corner then run really quietly so I'm really far ahead of the person behind me, then I walk my normal speed again. When they round the corner, they are surprised to see how far away I am now compared to how normal I was walking. You can also do the opposite, wait until they are about to turn the corner, then start walking again, and they will be confused. I think the far away one is better. Could have been checking your phone or something. Wave to random people in public, and when they wave back look at them confused and point behind them. They'll be crying about the awkwardness until they start their new life in another country. Edit, thanks for gold, but still why? Who the fuck does this, Omeo? Psychopaths. Point out something that someone does all the time. One of my co-workers would leave the office at the end of the day and forget his headphones. So he'd leave the office and have to run in again to grab them. I told him I noticed he always forgot his headphones, and how he's self-conscious about it and never forgets them anymore. That actually seems more helpful than fuckful. Hey Brad, I notice how you never get your work done every day. Fuckful. When meeting someone for the first time, say oh hello again and shake their hand even if they go for like a high five, transfer it into a handshake. They will not ask for your name or any information, they will just think that you definitely know them from somewhere and they just forgot. I do this a lot by accident with conversations. I will say like I was saying, underscore or again, underscore 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 or whatever, only to realize several sentences later, after it's awkward to go back and explain, that I said this to someone else entirely several weeks / months ago, and this is the first time I've ever said this thing to this person. When I get excited my brain forgets things like how time works and other people aren't a hive mid. Other people aren't a hive mid. Or so you think. Look distractedly at their nose or some part of their face, then scratch or rub the corresponding part on your own face. They'll supposedly get confused and think they have something on them. This was from the book Mind Control, The Ancient Art of Psychological Warfare by the dubiously named Ha Ha Lung. My emotionally unstable brother bought this book and I had to see what the hell he was actually reading. The author sounds like a nutcase through his writing. His real name is Ashida Kim. No, actually that's fake too, Radford Davis, he's a self-trained wannabe Ija. Who sells fake certifications and post dubious info on martial arts and secret Ija techniques from his trailer in Florida. I have never seen Ija spelled with a hard R before. Offer somebody gum but don't take a piece for yourself. Look at the pack, flip it over, and say okay as you put it back into your pocket. Take a fake homework to school and ask them if they had done it. Yes. You know reverse card. If you're close-quartered with someone, you can intentionally choose one word out of the lexicon to mispronounce. Swear up and down that your way is the correct way, and the correct way is actually the wrong but popular version. After months of intentionally mispronouncing the word shrimp, my mother now says scrimp. It's been 2 years and I can't undo this, help. That's wild. My father says Walmart instead of Walmart. I tried correcting him 100 times and obviously say Walmart myself, but he was always like oh okay, Walmart, and never changed how he says it. Say have a good day and then follow it with something applicable only to them. Then watch them say thanks you too only to realize what they said doesn't make sense. I do this with Uber Eats drivers all the time. Have a great day, drive safe. Thanks, you too. Wait. I like to be on the other side of that. I'll say thanks you too purposefully in situations like that. Most commonly at the movies when the ticket checker tells me to enjoy the movie. Hi, how are you? Thanks, you too. I have discovered a sort of variation on this I like to do, where I'll take credit for stuff people are simply commenting on / complimenting but which I have nothing to do with. Did it for fun one day and it really tickled me, but it drives my GF crazy. So naturally I kept at it. For example, if she says something like it is such a nice day today, I'll say thanks. Or if we're eating in a restaurant and she's enjoying her meal, this pasta tastes so good, I say thank you. A friend has been to see a movie he really enjoyed and is raving about how great the plot and cinematography are. Thanks, man. Really silly stuff, but as I say, I get a kick out of it and it seems to either really amuse some folk and really irk others. Try it. I like this and will be stealing it.